Hey, friendos. We are playing some Hades today. Hades is an early access game from Supergiant. It's very roguelite action. It's good. It's good, guys. Play the game. Well, it's in early access, so maybe don't play it if you don't feel like playing it, but I feel like playing it, so here we are. We're not just playing it on normal, we're playing it on 120 heat, which is to say we are going to make the game approximately, I don't know, 10 times harder than it normally is. Enemies have 45% more health, they deal 6 times as much damage as they usually do, they move 10% faster. There are half again as many of them. We only get to use a lot of our persistent upgrades. We don't get to use all of them. As you can see, we have invested like 1495 darkness here in the top left corner, out of 1500 as the max we can use with this much heat, with our difficulty cranked up this high. We have 10,000 that we are not using. Now that's a very large number. That's a number that you are only going to get to when you are playing with some heat. Because in addition to just making the game harder for you, heat also increases the amount of darkness that drops for you, which is, nice, but probably, it doesn't make up for the game being, you know, that much more difficult. The main reason you're using heat in the Pact of Punishment system is to, make yourself get better at the game. The main things that stand out here are, again, the damage, the enemy health upgrade, the convenience fee. Buying goods from Charon is going to be twice as expensive as it normally would be, which makes gold not worth as much. We're not going to take a lot of risks to open chests. Anytime we have a choice between going the gold reward for something and any other reward, we are going to take the other reward, just because gold is worth half as much because everything is twice as expensive. We are also running 2 ranks of Tenebrous Braille. I would really love to pull this down to just 1 rank, but doing so would require like putting an extra 5 ranks into Whipped Frenzy, or like pulling even more darkness down and removing our ability to actually like use our abilities. Which actually, if I cut one of my dashes out and one of this and one of this, I pull it down to 1225. Is that enough? Oops. Yeah, that's enough there. Let's actually try to pull this Tenebrous. Basically, Tenebrous Veil is you just have fewer choices when selecting boons, which means, and at 2 ranks of this, you have no choice. You just take the top boon. It makes the game kind of hard to control. You don't get to make as many choices, and not making choices is bad. Yikes. I'm really hesitant to bring Whipped Frenzy up this high because, tell you what, let's leave Whipped Frenzy down here. I would really love to just, like, add more of these things, however they are capped. As is Shared Misery. These are, like, the 4 ranks, the 4 punishments that I, find easy to cap. It just makes the game a little more tedious and more punishing, but it doesn't make actual encounter. With Frenzy, in addition to just increasing your foe's movement speed, it also increases their attack speed. It doesn't really list it here, but they will get off their attacks faster, and also they just close in on you faster. It's just bad news. However, at 20%, I'm okay running that with also 1 rank of Grim Inevitability, which I don't like doing either. Healing is very valuable, especially when you're taking huge amounts of damage. However, it is less valuable when it is unable to pull you out of, taking huge amounts of damage. You're never safe when your when the enemy damage is cranked up this high. Anyway, I feel like you've seen enough talking. I'm just gonna go back over to the screen. You can just take a look at it. But then we're just gonna get out there. We are okay. So the bow is the highlighted weapon. We'll just go ahead and use that. I like the bow quite a bit. In terms of which keepsake we're gonna take, I like Distant Memory for the bow. Uh, Other good ones. The old spiked collar, it's boring, just 60% to your life total, or 60 to your flat 60. But that is a lot. That's an extra hit or two. Uh, Similarly, Lucky Tooth is always going to be an extra hit. Chthonic Coin Purse is normally very good. However, with Charon's prices cranked up to plus 100%, this is only an extra 100 gold, and that's not very much. Like, this will allow you to get an item from your first purchase, or it'll let you heal at the well a few times, but it's not great. I also like the Overflowing Cup. Dionysus has some, not the Overflowing Cup, the Cosmic Egg. The cup is nice too. All of these, like, god bonuses, are nice. They allow you to, like, control your start pretty well. Like, I would like to take the Artemis Arrowhead with the bow usually, but we're not. We're going to stick with the Distant Memory. With foes having 50% more health, dealing 30% more damage to them, uh, it's going to be useful. And that 30% damage buff at, max range is, it stacks with a few other things, most other damage effects. But anyway, we're just going to jump in there. We are trying to get this We're trying to get this curtain off of this last statue, which is why we're playing on 120 heat and making the game much, much harder than it normally is. So, let's see what we've got here. Daedalus Hammer, the best upgrade in the game, and it comes first. Alright, so Piercing Barrage or Sniper Shot. Sniper Shot is yet more damage to distant foes, which I like, and Piercing Barrage is okay. Your special is very good at just like hitting everything on the screen, and when it pierces, it always hits everything on the screen, and it decimates armor. At 300%, if you just like jump up on an enemy up close and hit your special, you'll just erase all of their armor. They won't have any armor. But I like Sniper Shot. I like Sniper Shot because we can just one-shot that guy. I heard the telltale sound of a Chaos door open, or yeah. Let's just go see what Chaos has for us. We can definitely afford 6 health on the first room. We will probably heal, I'm going to heal 4 of it just walking through this room. And we'll heal the next one if we just get through the next fight without taking damage. So let's see what Master Chaos has for us. Very true, Chaos, you do offer us a choice. For the next 4 encounters, chamber reward previews are hidden. Additionally, afterward, any money you find is worth plus 46%. That's pretty good. And chamber rewards being hidden isn't, it's annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Addled Grasp is a lot easier to manage. We just choose not to cast. But the reward is also not as good. And extra ammo is nice, especially if you get a good cast ability later on. But I think we're going to take Enshrouded Affluence. This will actually alleviate some of our difficulty with us, finding and spending money. So, yeah, I really like Sniper Shot. Like, we're just dealing very large amounts of damage. As you will see, against close enemies we're dealing much less. Now, it should be noted that unlike Distant Memory, Sniper Shot only applies to your attack, as in like this charge shot. It doesn't apply to, say, throwing out your cast or your special, which Distant Memory, the trinket, does buff that damage. But, 30% is a smaller number than 50%, and also the two work well together. Here, hold that for a moment. Alright, yeah. Playing like this is maybe a little boring, like just standing way back and just tossing arrows at people, but things will not always be this smooth. And also, at this much heat, we cannot really afford to take chances. Those chances just backfire and get you killed. Alright, sorry also for not talking. This game does sometimes require some concentration. Okay, so the other reward you get for increasing your heat is that you get to visit Erebus and take on these challenges. The challenge is always beat all the enemies without getting hit. We haven't been hit so far, so I feel reasonably safe here. And also, the Erebus is always the same arena, which you can use to kite enemies pretty effectively. Give me that back. Ooh, okay. These crystals, the brimstones, are very dangerous on this because that beam touches you once, you lose the challenge. Alright, we made it through. Another nice thing about these Erebos challenges is they offer better rewards. You might remember that last run, the Centaur Heart only gave us 25 health. Here it's increasing our health by 50. It also gives you a choice of 3 different rooms you can go to afterwards. However, because we are blind, uh, we don't get a choice. We just take whichever one we get. And it sounds like we got Charon, which is unfortunate. We do not have the money. This is why we took this reward, so we could afford to visit Charon. But showed up too soon, buddy. That sucks too, because that means that the other rewards were probably power, like maybe a boon, or you know, even just gold would have been nice. But here we are. Ow. Yeah, but okay, so that was the first time we've been hit in this run. Uh, and these skeletons did 8, or the little skull head? I forget what these enemies are called. Numbskulls. The numbskull did a full 18 damage. Which is, it's not too much when we have 150 health, but that's like one of the lowest damage attacks in the game. And it still does, an appreciable chunk that will take a while to heal. Alright, so our Shrouded Affluence has flipped. We are now able to see our chamber rewards again, and we will get 46% more money for the rest of the run. So Ares or a Centaur Heart. Well, we already got a pretty good health upgrade, so let's go grab Ares. We could use some damage. We don't have any damage. Yeah, Sniper Shot. Oops, sorry. I'm just walking around blind. Sniper Shot has been our only damage. Okay, so you don't have to fight enemies on these survive rooms, but enemies do drop money. And I like money. Yeah, as you can see, and especially now that our money is worth a little more than usual, I felt it was okay to like actually fight for a little while. The actual strategy, if you just want to play safe, is just run clockwise around the room forever and ever. You could be of assistance, Ares. Ah, the good stuff. So we could take Curse of Agony or Curse of Pain, both of which are actually pretty good with the bow, I feel. Unlike a lot of weapons that attack quickly, the bow doesn't attack quickly, so you don't lose value on the Curse of Agony. Because the attack, you don't get another set of the curse damage until the curse damage fires, and it takes about half a second to fire. but we're not hitting foes fast enough for that to matter. This is basically just plus 40 damage on all of our attacks. Curse of Pain, however, we can hit a lot of enemies with arrows, so I feel like we want Curse of Pain. This will make the spread shot our chief. That's unfortunate. Our chief means of getting damage in against multiple enemies, like so. While against a single distant enemy, we will be able to use sniper shot to deal like single large numbers. Unfortunately, the reward for this room is going to be a Dionysus blessing. Dionysus, I think, is at his worst with a bow. Uh, you know, any blessing is a good blessing, but because the bow doesn't attack very quickly, you can't stack up poison very quickly. But, ooh, but because we have the ability to choose, we have the choice between Nasty Dash. Our dash attack would splash foes with Blightwine, which I think is pretty good with a lot of weapons, but we're normally dashing away from enemies and not towards them, so I feel like that's a little less valuable. However, Premium Vintage I think is one of the better blessings on high heat. First of all, it's just, flat 30 health, which is good, but also every time you pick up another flask of ambrosia in the future, that's another 30 health, whereas normally ambrosia does nothing for you in the single run sense. It's, ambrosia is obviously nice for, you got friends, and your friends would like, the good stuff, but you know, at this point, you see I have like 19 ambrosia bottles that I just have not used. Uh, and that's because nobody will take them anymore. I've given them too much. Everybody is already completely drunk. They don't get any more drunk. Not even Dionysus can change that. So yeah, it basically gives us an opportunity to get something out of rooms where we'd normally get nothing. There's still areas. Alright. Speaking of getting nothing, darkness are not doing much for us either. Here you can see an infernal chest that we are just not going to open. It doesn't, getting 100, even 146 gold, which is not the amount that we're going to get, is not as valuable when it costs a full, 54 to get our life essence. Uh, we did get that bonus from Chaos, but it's not, plus 46% does not equal plus 100%, unfortunately. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, the Ares' blessing on that spread shot does a nice chunk. Uh, yeah, it's unfortunate that both of these are darkness. Sometimes when you get faced with this choice, one of them is darkness and the other one is maybe some booze. And booze would give us more health. but can't really blame Dionysus for the room generation. Oh, okay. One up there too, huh? Alright. Yeah, I think we have a pretty good setup here. Between the ability to clear, like wide groups of foes with the nice Ares spread shot damage, and single long range targets with the sniper shot, I think we're in a decent position to handle a lot of situations. And it's also worth noting, the bow shot does pierce, so if all of your enemies are like far away and in a straight line, as these particular enemies have a tendency to be, you can hit all of them with like this nice sniper damage. Alright, making good progress, but as you can see, like we're still missing like 30 health, and we haven't been hit in, you know, a room. Actually, we got hit this room, didn't we? Never mind. So the choice to take either an upgrade to one of our existing effects or take two new effects. I think I'm going to take two new effects. If we can get the Ares attack bonus, which I think we are all but guaranteed to get if we take his boon first. Yeah, would have liked it to be a higher rarity, but we don't have any points in that because we can't afford them, so can't complain. Now we've upset Dionysus, but, you know, these things happen. Ooh. Now one thing about the Dionysus room challenge is because the poison is linked to these like little bubbles around the enemies and not their actual attacks, it can be, sometimes you just take damage. And it doesn't seem like you have a lot of control. Oh god. I think we got away with only taking a single instance of poisoning there, but it still did 3 damage. I think. I wasn't actually paying that much attention. Alright. Let's see, what do we get? We get the similar choices what we already had. I'm gonna take Nasty Dash this time though. Tipsy Shot isn't great with the... Actually, the Festive Fog is a nice zone control, and one of the issues we'll have eventually is enemies walking towards us. Being able to like hold them up pretty far away is nice, but taking the Nasty Dash, it's not the worst dash effect. Let's see, our gold is at 211, we're at mostly full health. Sorry, Charon, we're gonna go grab some more power. Most of Charon's blessings would cost 200 or more at this point, whereas this Palm of Power is free. I think we'll upgrade the Curse of Agony over the Curse of Pain. Now that we have a curse on our attack, I am back to favoring attack in most situations. Oops, maybe aim. Once again, we're like being pretty silent here, which I apologize for. Megara is a pretty tough fight, honestly. Which, you know, you'd expect from the first, like, boss. Just the ability, you know, she has pretty fast attacks. She summons enemies. And this thing, you know, she has invulnerability periods. It's just everything that you don't want in your first boss. Ooh. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. I thought she was just spinning up to do her, like, to summon. I did not realize she was spinning up to start that attack. But fortunately, I think we've got her. Yeah, Ares has got her. So we got away without losing one of our Death's Defiances, which is, good. And we're actually going to heal quite a bit going into this next room. You know, you heal 2 for walking through the door. There are another couple doors before our next fight. But more importantly, there's this healing fountain. And because we have 180 health, we're, even with our 20% healing reduction, we're still going to, you know, heal for a nice chunk there. Excuse me. I think we will... Ugh. I think we will take the Hydrolite, and we're not going to like it. We're not going to restore a ton of health because of the healing reduction, but we do have a lot of base health, so yeah, 24 per chamber at 180. You know, we paid a little more than we would like for that effect, let's say. But we're going to get a, you know, a total of, you know, 72 minus 6, so 66 health out of it. More than we would have gotten. And most of it comes before our next fight, so... Ooh, okay. So now that we are in this second area, whose name I'm already forgetting because I'm trying to shoot, you know, skeletons, things get tougher. The second area, or the first area, was mostly like tight, enclosed spaces with lots of walls and stuff. The second area is mostly open spaces with a lot of lava and stuff, which makes it harder to kite enemies a little bit, but you also, like, enemies have a tendency to be, you know, just off on their own sometimes, particularly these bloodless. Unfortunately, it also means that you get just more difficult enemies, such as these Medusa heads. Gorgon heads, I believe they're called. Uh, Gorgons are terrifying. They have homing shots that freeze you in place. They don't do a lot of damage, the homing shot, but freezing you in place frees you up to get hit for 54 by a Bloodless, or 70 by a Skull Crusher. And the homing shots last for quite a while. Oh god. Alright, that should clear out the Hydra. And now we just have some skeletons to clear up. But yeah, as you can see, like, the damage also ramps up. Boneless do slightly less damage than the big club guys from before, but they are much more likely to hit you. They jump around a lot. They get behind you. Ooh, Palm of Power. But yeah, as you can see here, our rewards could be a key, which we have 53 of, and which do, they open chests, but we don't want to open chests right now, and also we have plenty of keys already. Heat, which is only useful between runs, and we already have as much as we really ever want, and then an Ambrosia Bottle, which normally would do nothing for you, but in our case is going to increase our max HP by another 30. And all we have to do is run around in circle for a while. Thanks, Dad. Running around in a circle is much harder when you have Medusa heads to worry about. Ow, okay, I dispute that. Yeah, these bullet heli zones are kind of dangerous when the enemies always keep spawning. Yeah, but as you can see, these like survive rooms aren't too bad if you are willing to play like a complete coward, which I am willing to play like a complete coward. Yeah. So here we are. We got hit once for 30, and we increased our maximum life by 30. It's also another... yeah, I think we have to take the Hydrolite again. Our last, infusion just ran out. We don't really want any of these. One more cast. We're not really using our cast since we're mostly on bows. Yeah, so let's just take more Hydrolite. We took enough damage that it'll, come to pass. And another embarkment. This time I think we will take Dionysus' blessing first. We're hoping to get the cast again, but we will also take. He has another. He has a number of effects that would be fine here. Yeah, cast. Ooh, I really like peer pressure. Hmm. Uh, but we don't have great. Like our only source of blight wine is our dash, and ideally we don't want to be dashing into enemies too much. If you have like a more active way to put the poison onto enemies, peer pressure is really good because they just keep poisoning each other. As is, we'll take Tipsy Shot. We'll enjoy it. And importantly, that means we are very likely to be offered the attack and damage buff from Ares because he can't offer us a cast now. Ah, God. Ow, ow, ow. Please stop hurting me. getting some frame rate. That occasionally happens, I've noticed, on these like god, like spiting the gods thing where you have to like choose between one of them. I think it's just because it adds more particle effects to enemies. Neptune, I've noticed, is particularly saucy about that. Ow. Okay, we are taking too much damage. I I think we got hit by a laser there that I didn't see. Fortunately, we are through the bulk of it, so we shouldn't take any more damage. I say, tempting fate. Yeah, we're good. So it should offer us something good here. I don't really like... Yeah, okay. We're just going to take Urge to kill. More damage. And we don't have the money to actually buy anything from Charon, which is unfortunate. We could try to earn some here, but I don't... that is a skull on that. That means that room's going to be terrible. And if that room is also the bridge, you know what? Let's try the Trove Trial. We don't have to earn much to be able to afford a snack pack, which would heal us for over 100. Yeah, okay, we got 82 out of that. And actually it might be more than that. I didn't check if that's pre or post. Yeah, okay, 82. It's not bad. That will give us, if Karen is offering a snack pack anyway, we will enjoy buying one off of him. And he is. Awesome. Yeah, 84 health, right, because we are getting 20% less healing. But still, that brings us up above the 100 health threshold once again. You know, it's certainly better than just... I think doing it that way was better than taking the 100 as the room reward. Unfortunately, we are on the boat. The boat sucks. Boat doesn't look that bad, you're saying. Well, the first wave is mostly just to kind of get you used to the idea of fighting closed quarters. Things are about to get real bad once we clear this guy out. There are 3 waves on the boat. The first wave is, you know, it's fine. The second wave, okay, we didn't get the worst enemy groupings. But the big thing about the boat is that you have to clear these crystals first, because they are adding shields to all the other enemies. And then, once you get rid of that, you still have to deal with, you know, a bunch of bombs that are just making entire zones unstand-inable. And also, these bomber enemies all have, like, a lot of health. And they also deal, I think, I think these little guys do 70 damage, and these big guys do 90 when the damage is cranked up this high. Which, you know, is a lot. And then we have the last wave, also known as actual literal hell. Yeah, so I think we got clipped by a single hit of a beam. Ah! And 1 skeleton attack. have lost our first Death Defiance. Okay. And we lost our next one. Yeah, as you can see, it's just too many enemies in too small of a space, and I hear you. Seth, if it's too many enemies, why are you running plus 50% enemies? Uh, because I'm, a masochist? Look, I don't have... Oh, we're dead. Yeah, I saw as soon as I hit that special that I had committed too much, and we had died. 72 is how much that bomb did. But yeah, so we went in there with 3 Death Defiances and 100 health, and we died because we got hit like, 5 times. And that's Hades on 120 heat. Yeah. See you guys around for a next time, if there's a next time. Let me know if there will be a next time. Later.